My name is Brooke Hogancamp, and I'm the Family and Consumer Science Extension Agent for Carlisle County. Whether you realize it or not, hunger and food insecurity are issues in every county across Kentucky. So today we're going to look at ways that you can start the conversation in your local community and ways that you and your local community organizations can help battle the struggle with hunger and food insecurity. Our presentation is brought to you by the University of Kentucky Nutrition Education Program. Kentucky NEP provides nutritional information to limited resource audiences and those who work with limited resource audiences. Our program, Hunger in Kentucky, it has 4 objectives. We're hoping we can describe concerns related to food insecurity and also recognize food insecurity as a community issue. And we should be able to identify some community resources to address food insecurity and also develop some goals to address food insecurity in our community. So let's get started. When you think about what it means to be hungry, we often think in the short term of I've missed a meal or my stomach is growling. But today we want to think more broadly and include the concept of food insecurity with our conversation. While hunger and food insecurity are closely related terms that are sometimes used pretty interchangeably, each has an important distinctive meaning that deserves some clarification for our lesson. The USDA defines hunger as the personal and physical discomfort experienced because of a lack of food. Food insecurity is a lack of consistent access to enough food to lead an active and healthy life, particularly meaning healthy food and not just empty calories. According to Feeding Kentucky, hunger is an issue in every community across the Commonwealth. There are 700,000 Kentuckians who are food insecure, which means that 1 out of every 6 of our Kentucky neighbors do not know if they will have enough food. By working together, communities can help those struggling with hunger and food insecurity. Healthy bodies and minds require nutritious meals at every age. But when people don't have enough food or have to choose inexpensive food with a low nutritional value, it can seriously affect their health. Hunger affects your mental health and increases your risk of chronic diseases. Chronic disease then increases medical costs and reduces available resources that could be used for healthy foods. Kentucky is ranked one of the least healthy states in the nation, according to United Health Foundation's 2019 report. The study ranked the state number 43 out of 50 using 5 categories: behavior, community and environment, public and health policies, clinical care, and health outcomes. So which one is your community trying to build? Community food insecurity and poor health affect everyone, even those who are food secure. Communities that need to spend more resources on healthcare and hospitals have fewer resources for parks, road and sidewalk improvements, and other infrastructure improvements that make for thriving communities. So when you're having these conversations, you need to consider what resources are currently available in your community. What organizations help with food insecurity? Are there food pantries available in the community? Are there little free food pantries or community garden share boxes? Does your community have soup kitchens or other similar meal services? PlanEatMove.com actually provides a very convenient resource for looking up what type of organizations are available in your community. If you go to www.planteatmove.com/farmers-food-banks/, you'll be given this tool where you can enter a zip code to find food pantries, farmers markets, or both. Sometimes when resources to address food insecurity are available in a community, there still might not be enough food to go around, or there aren't enough healthy food options. If you or your group want to help, one of the best things you can do is to ask the food pantry what items they really need. Remember that some pantries do not have the ability to store refrigerated or frozen foods, and sometimes monetary donations are best. Many food pantries are able to purchase cases of food in bulk at discounted prices, and your donation might stretch further than if you purchase foods yourself to donate. If there's a particular food item your pantry needs, consider sponsoring a food drive specifically for that item, like peanut butter or pouches of chicken or tuna. That's easy ways to provide protein, and protein can be challenging for some pantries to provide. There's lots of ways to help, even if you don't have extra food or money to spare. Many food pantries rely on volunteers to help box and load food for families, so you can check to see if the food pantry in your community needs volunteer help. So food insecurity is a very complex topic, and there is just so much more to consider. Every community provides a different set of challenges to food security and a different set of assets for addressing them. Uncovering the needs, the barriers to food access, and resources for improving it and developing a plan for action requires an open community discussion. What is important to understand is what sources of quality food are there in your community? Where are they located? Who can use them? Are there qualifications for that system? Who doesn't have access to them? What are the barriers? Like, do they need transportation or hours of operation? Do they know where these pantries are located? What resources does your community have to address these barriers? And how can the community leverage resources to improve access to quality foods? We can start by thinking about what is food insecurity. We've discussed the meaning of food insecurity earlier, but food security as well as food insecurity are not always the same from family to family. The USDA categorizes food security by the following ranges. High food security is households with no problems or worry about consistently accessing adequate food. Marginal food security is households with problems or worry at times about accessing adequate food, but the quality, variety, and quantity of their food doesn't substantially reduce. Then in low food security homes, households with reduced quantity, variety, and desirability of their diets, but the quantity of food intake and normal eating patterns are not substantially disrupted. And then we also have the very low food security homes. At times during the year, eating patterns of one or more of the members of this household are disrupted, and food intake is reduced because of lack of money or other resources to secure food. According to the Kentucky Association of Food Banks, food insecurity exists in every county in Kentucky. Children are at a higher risk of food insecurity. 22% of Kentucky's children are food insecure. 11 counties in Kentucky have childhood insecurity rates of 30% or higher. In Kentucky, it's approximately 190,600 children are food insecure. That averages about 1 out of every 5 children, and in some counties, as high as 1 in 3 children. Food insecurity is affected by household income and the physical and mental health of caregivers. While food insecurity can affect any household, it's more likely to affect low-income, single-parent homes. Food insecurity can negatively affect children in several ways. Physical development is disrupted as children do not receive enough nutrients or micronutrients. Food insecurity is also associated with issues such as asthma, cognitive and behavioral problems, and anemia. It contributes to poor academic performance in children and can lead to problems socializing with peers. We also need to consider our seniors. Kentucky has the highest rate in the nation for food insecurity among older adults ages 50 to 59. We come in at 17.3%, well above the 10.6% national rate for that age group. Because of poor nutrition, many food insecure seniors experience limitations in their daily activities that make their life experience roughly of that someone 14 years older. It's easy to consider children and seniors, but there are many hidden populations that we need to think of when it comes to food insecurity. Food insecurity impacts segments of the population to varying degrees. One hidden population experiencing food insecurity is college students. Around 1 in 3 students are food insecure. For this population, food insecurity is linked with lower GPAs and poor mental and physical health. American Indian, Alaskan Native, and Black students, as well as those who identify as LGBT, are more likely to be food insecure. Food insecurity among college students is typically due to lack of resources. Not all college students are eligible for federal assistance, such as SNAP benefits, if they are considered dependents of their parents. Most communities have some form of food pantry. Food pantries are self-governed and usually distribute food on a monthly basis to their customers. You may see food pantries run by churches, community partners, or even schools. Many food pantries are supplied from a larger food bank that are usually regional. Examples of food pantries are mobile pantries, school pantry programs, and church food pantries. A food bank, on the other hand, is a nonprofit that safely stores millions of pounds of food that will soon be delivered to a local food program. Food banks that serve Kentucky families include God's Pantry and Feeding America. Food banks get their food from a variety of places. Some include food drives, farmers, companies, and local businesses, and food banks purchasing foods from cash donations. Foods that are purchased are usually ones that do not receive from other food sources that clients request. Federal programs from the USDA in 2020 provided 1.7 million meals to food banks. Little free pantries and garden sharing boxes are becoming more common throughout communities as people join the effort to prevent hunger. You can find little free food pantries, often referred to as blessing boxes, in most cities and towns. These small freestanding boxes contain non-perishable food items, and some may contain toiletry items as well. Most blessing boxes will have an invitation written on the outside stating, "Take what you can," or "Take what you need, give what you can." Backpack food programs provide nutritious, non-perishable, easy-to-prepare food to children to ensure they get enough food on the weekends and holidays to avoid hunger when they can't depend on school meals. Every backpack food program is unique to the community and school it serves. Backpack programs can be administered by a variety of community groups, including schools, family resource and youth service centers, churches, community agencies or centers, food pantries, food banks, and volunteer organizations. The Summer Food Service Program is a federal program managed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture through the Division of School and Community Nutrition. In Kentucky and many other states, the USDA works closely with the Department of Education to coordinate and implement the program throughout the state. SFSP exists to ensure Kentucky youths receive nutritious meals when they do not have access to school breakfasts and lunches. The program provides breakfast, lunches, snacks, and sometimes dinners. The meals include items that meet the federal school nutrition guidelines to make sure youth are receiving healthy options to eat at home. In Kentucky alone, there are more than 2,700 summer feeding sites and more than 3 million healthy meals or snacks served annually. When a family has experienced loss of income, even if it's temporary, flexible expenses such as food, recreation, and clothing can be reduced by eliminating waste and unnecessary expenses. Families can reduce ways to eliminate or reduce spending while recovering from loss of income. It may make sense to substitute a lower cost option for meals and snacks. For example, instead of eating out for lunch, bring lunch to work or even eat at home. Planning meatless meals a few times a week can make a big difference in the grocery bill as well. Before visiting the grocery store, plan menus in advance. Make a shopping list and stick to it. Check the store advertisements for sale items and buy only if needed. Compare prices by utilizing the unit price posted on the shelf. Gleaning food is the act of collecting leftover crops from farmers' fields after they've been commercially harvested or in fields where it's not economically profitable to harvest. These crops are then taken and given to those who have limited access to fresh fruits and vegetables. Data shows that up to 40% of food that is processed in the United States ends up in landfills and is never consumed. The average dollar amount of food waste in the United States is equal to $161 billion, and the average American family of four throws out $1,500 worth of food a year. Gleaning helps with the environment, food waste, and feeding those who need it the most. So let's review. Now we really have a good grasp on what food insecurity issues are. We know that our community has a food insecurity issue because all communities across Kentucky have an issue of some kind. We realize why food insecurity is a community issue. We are all connected, and it takes everyone pitching in to make a difference. And we realize what resources are available to address these issues in our local community. Every community is unique, and every conversation is going to be different. So let's make a plan. Our next step towards making a community change. Some communities need more resources, and some communities need better quality resources. Think about some ways to address food insecurity in your community that you or your group might want to focus on. Can you identify some small steps, medium steps, large steps? Now that you have some ideas, think about how you can achieve your goals. Be sure to set SMART goals. Our acronym, SMART, S for specific, M, measurable, A, achievable, R, relevant, and T, time-bound. Look at your plans and select at least one idea and take a few minutes to work through this process of setting a goal to achieve improving food insecurity in your community. If you have any questions or would like more information on hunger in Kentucky and how you and your organization can know more and do more, please feel free to reach out to me, Brooke Hogancamp, at the Carlisle County Cooperative Extension Office. I'm the agent for Family and Consumer Science, and I would love to help point you in the right direction. Or you can reach out to Martha Yount, our Nutrition Education Program Regional Specialist. Thank you all for your interest and your participation.